God bless everybody. Well, let me pray first. Father in heaven, I pray for the people that are watching this. May this testimony be a blessing to anybody that hears it. May it edify you, Lord. May it edify them. For those who are struggling with situations that are beyond their control, let them be blessed. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, guys, my wife's home. We're home. She's been discharged from the hospital. Those of you that know what's going on. So I want to share a testimony about the whole situation. For those people that know about it, they got most of it, but not all of it. All right. So here it goes. So about 4 weeks ago, I say about 4 weeks ago, it started on the Sunday. We came home, not me. We came back home from Sunday service. I did what I normally do, take a nap, because getting up for church Sundays like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not a morning person, so I do what I normally do: come home, take a nap, and then go about my day. Well, that day was different, because when I woke up from my nap, I had the chills. So I checked my temperature, and it was 101. So I said, okay, it's probably a 24-hour bug. No big deal. I know when I was at the church, there was one person that was already sick wearing the mask, so I was like, okay, it's not a big deal. I'll just monitor it. I'll take some Tylenol, and I'll be good to go for tomorrow, which it was Monday. Monday comes around. I wake up, still 101 fever. So I said, okay, let me call into work, because I'm not going to be able to make it. I call my boss on the cell phone, and I say, hey, I've been having a fever for 2 days, and I'm not feeling well. And then he said, well, I'm currently at home, and I got body aches, and I have a high fever. I tested positive for the flu, and I gave it to you. I said, gee, thanks, boss. That's all I needed. I meant it jokingly though, but him and his family caught the flu, and they were running through it. So I said, okay, that's fine. At least I know what I have. So I told my wife, it's like, yeah, what I got is the flu, because my boss got the flu. So, I slept in the living room. She slept in the bedroom. We kept apart. Well, the second day, she was checking on me. She put her face towards me to feel my temperature. And I got mad at her. I was like, why'd you do that? Because, I didn't want her to get sick. She's like, I'm fine. She was. There was nothing wrong with her. Day 2, still cracking 101. The way our hospitals work out here, if it's not like 102, they'll just give you some Tylenol and send you home. Unless you had it for a couple of days. So I tend to hold off until like 2 or 3 days. So I was like, all right, I'm going to hold off one more day, because it's only 101. And the Tylenol brings it down. And I've been mixing it up with Tylenol and NyQuil and Dayquil and all that stuff. Been hammer it. I got this. Day 3, in the morning I had the fever, but during the day it broke. No more fever. I was monitoring it. I was like, okay, the worst is over. But actually, let me backtrack on the second day. Once I found out I had the flu, I called everybody. I called my pastor. I called my cousin and his wife. Everybody that I was in contact with. I was letting them know. I was like, hey, I contracted the flu, and I apologize. It's like I didn't know I was sick until Monday. And they said, don't worry about it. You're good. You're good. So day 3, my fever broke, but my wife started developing a fever. At first, it was like 100. So I was like, okay, and you gotta be careful with her because she has all the medical issues. So I was like, okay, we'll just monitor it for the day, and we'll follow up on it. So the same thing: Tylenol, NyQuil, Theraflu. It seemed to be working. And I called my cousin, my wife's cousin. He said, yeah, and told him what's going on. He said, yeah, my wife is starting to develop the symptoms too. I called my pastor. He's like, yeah, man, I'm hurting too. So everybody that I came in contact with, minus my cousin, but his wife got it. But everybody I came in contact with started falling ill to the virus. Some of them pretty bad. So day 2, my wife had a fever of 102. I was like, okay, this is high. So monitor it. I gave her some Tylenol. And usually with the Tylenol, it starts dropping. But now this one was not dropping. And I'm like, I just gave you Tylenol like an hour ago, and it's still at 102. So I said, okay, let's go to the ER. Let's go get it checked out. Because that's weird that, you would take Tylenol or even like Theraflu and the temperature doesn't drop. So I've never seen that before. So I took her to the ER. And in the ER, she was complaining about her headache and the fever. But other than that, she was talking, walking, breathing fine, no issues, right? So we get her into the ER bed, and they start taping her up, putting the machines on, checking the heart, checking everything. But they noticed that her oxygen level was in the low 80s. And they was like, you fine? You okay? You can breathe? And she said, yeah. Because your oxygen is low. So they did chest x-ray. They were looking at the lungs. They didn't see anything. So they came back a few minutes later. Yeah, lungs look good. Everything looks good. But we can't figure out why your oxygen is so low. And we're going to admit you because we can't let you go home like that. So I'm thinking, okay, they're going to keep her tonight and this will all be good by tomorrow, just like me. So we said, okay, we can't leave now. So they put her in the room. They monitor her. They got her on the very thin nasal one that requires very little oxygen, but they had her at 60%, I think 60% oxygen. Right, so we're still thinking everything is cool. So they put her in the room, and then the following day they checked in on her. Her oxygen level got worse. They did chest x-ray again. Still couldn't find anything. Nothing. And it was like, we don't know what's going on with her. We can't figure this out. But now our thin nasal oxygen tube is now becoming. Now they put on the heated high flow, which is a more powerful machine, and it was running at 80%. And they took her from her regular room. Now she's been put into a primary care unit, which is the PCI. That is one step lower than the ICU. Not PCI, it's a PCU. But it's one step lower than the ICU. So I'm like, okay, my thought process was, we don't want ICU, because ICU means it's gone from bad to worse. So we go there. She spends about 2 days there. Yeah, because when they transferred her, it was still in the daytime. She had a whole full day plus the next day over. Her oxygen levels were not improving. They actually increased her to 100% on the heated high flow, and now they had put her on in the mask, which is a CPAP machine. It is a CPAP machine that they were using, because there's two. There's CPAP and there's BiPAP. She used both of them during the whole time, but not the whole time, but during the 3 weeks that she was sick. So they had her on the CPAP at 100%, which is full mass. And they had her in the PCU unit. And now it's like the third day that she's there, and now she can't talk, because she tries to talk and it's a struggle for her, because it's horrible. She can't eat, and she's bedridden. So she's in the bed for the last 4 days. Her movements are not working right now. So this is getting really serious. And what the sad part is while we're doing all this, her uncle passed away. And the family is already not only dealing with her being in the hospital and other family members sick because of me, they're also dealing with the death of a family member all at the same time. It was all at the same time. And my wife is trying to hold me together, because I'm already blaming myself for getting her sick. She's like, it happens. Don't do that. So we're in the PCU unit, and I'm still okay mentally, and spiritually. It's like I'm thinking she's gonna get better, and they're gonna find whatever's wrong with her. It's been 4 days. Actually been 3 days in the hospital, and they still haven't found anything. So now they come in and said, we're gonna put you in ICU. We've done all that we can here. ICU, they can better monitor you. And the staff has less patients to deal with, and you'll get better treatment over there. So now the panic button is starting to hit, because it's like, this is where we didn't want to go. So now the family is like saying, this is serious. This is not good. So they take her from the PCU unit and put her in the ICU unit. She's at 100% oxygen. And she's been in the hospital at that point for 4 days. So day 5 comes around. There's still no improvement, but she's stable. but she's still running at 100% oxygen. So it's like, this is bad. She's nervous now. She's scared. Family comes in to visit her and stuff like that. And, it's like looking really, 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 really serious at this point. Her mother is praying hard for her daughter to heal. She's asking God to work his wonders. And this is where I started reaching out to families, say, hey, things are not looking good. I need your prayers. I started reaching out to some of my brothers on social media. One of the ones I reached out to was David A. Mahler, and even Dan Brown. And all three of them started praying. And my mind is already twisted. My spirit is taking a hit. I was never angry at God, but I was accepting the fact that I may lose her and God was coming to take her. So we even got all of our sisters and her mom. We all prayed together. We all apologized to her for everything that we did wrong, because we're all hitting that mindset. It's like, we ain't got much time with her. This is it. So day 6, I think it is. Day 5. Day 5. So the normal pulmonary doctor that was on duty that day, whatever, she comes in and she tells me that if your wife doesn't improve like really, really soon, we might have to put her on the ventilator. That's when the reality is, what would have been the reality, was starting to sink in. Like, I'm about to lose my wife, man. Because with a ventilator, it's a 50-50 chance that you come out of it alive. Because this is already day 5 at 100% oxygen now. Day 6 comes around. People start praying. Getting constant messages. People coming in praying for her. Something happens though on day 6. Is that her breathing started to return little by little. So they lowered the oxygen level to 90% to see how well she was doing on day 6, and they kept her like that. And she held up. So they held off putting her on a ventilator. Day 7, her breathing starts to improve even more. So they lowered it again to 80%. So ventilator talk is no longer being talked about now, because she's headed in the right direction. She's going. She's improving, because that's what they wanted from her. So on day 7, there was another guy that comes into the room. He's a liaison for another hospital that's in Tampa, because I live in Winter Haven, which is an hour and a half away. And the guy says, "Listen, we have a high recovery rate for pneumonia because that's what your wife got. And she was diagnosed with influenza A, which is the Spanish flu, which is what I had." He said the facility that I work at, that I'm a part of, we have a high success rate. If she goes over there, there's a high probability that she'll recover faster and be able to go home. He said, but if she stays here, the way it looks, she's gonna recover, but it's gonna be a lot longer, and a lot more painful for her. So, and my wife can hear this, and she's starting to get her voice back. She can say, yeah. So I asked her real quick. I said, "What do you think? You want to do it?" She said, "Yeah." So I told the liaison, it's like, "Give me 24 hours. That'll be enough time for the people, the family that lives close by, that they can come and see her before we take her out of here." And he said, "That's a deal." So, family came through. We all prayed for her. She's starting to eat a little bit. Her bodily function is starting to happen. And then day 7, we transfer hospitals. So here's where the miracle happens, man. She left the regular hospital from an ICU room, right? So we get to the new facility. The new facility has regular rooms and ICU rooms. So we're thinking she's going into another ICU room. Nope. She went to a regular room, and they monitored her there. So, like, on the first day that she got there, she was at 80% oxygen, right? But she was able to talk and get up and sit up in the bed, but nothing else. She could eat, but she couldn't get out of the bed and stuff. She had to do, the nurses had to come and do what they do for, like, the bathroom and all that stuff. Not gonna go into that detail. Day 8 of being hospitalized, right? They come in, they check her lungs and say, "Oh, your lungs are getting better. Lungs are getting better." So she goes from 80 to 70, right? In the morning. So, at night, they see that she was holding up pretty good with the 70, so they dropped her to the 60, and she's not on a CPAP machine that night. She was on a BiPAP machine, which is a lower grade, right? Still on the high flow during the day, though. Day 9, she's sitting up, talking, eating, starting to get her lungs going again. So she goes from 70 to 60, right? Then that night, they dropped it from 60 to 55. And she's still holding up. But she's learning how to talk again and stuff like that. day 10. Now she's improving dramatically. So during the day, they drop her to 55, and at night it's about 50. About 50. She's still able to eat and do other stuff. Day 11, she made a big jump from 50 to 40. Right? And at night she goes 50 to 40 as well. So now they're talking about getting her out of bed, going walking around, doing the physical therapy and all that stuff. Day 11, they come in, they check on her. Now she's starting to get out of the bed and use the bathroom little by little. She maintains that 40%. She stays. They tried to lower it, but it was too fast for her, so they kept her at 40. Day 12, they dropped her from 40 to 30, and they kept her on that for 30 for the next up until day 15, I think it was, or something like that. Because today was like day 23 or something like that. I can't remember. This is well into the second week. So she maintains 30. She fluctuates from day 15 to day 17 between 30 and 40. Day 16, I think she was on starting the physical therapy, walking around without anything connected to her. From day 16 to day 19, they had her off the machine for the daytime, and they put her back on at night. Day 20, they decided day 20 was on, I think it was Friday. Either Friday or Thursday, I can't remember. Yeah, it was Thursday. It was Thursday. They lowered the machine even more. It was like down to 35 or something, like 30, 35. I think it was that 30. No, she was at 30. So they decided to let her walk around, and it became as needed. So the physical therapy would take her a couple of days, get on an exercise bike and going up and down the stairs, so on and so forth. And it was such a dramatic improvement that they let her, walk around the facility, take a shower, do whatever she wanted. And she only go on the machine when needed, but they were checking her pulse, and every night they were checking her, making sure her oxygen was in the high 90s. It was. But there was one doctor, though. Let me explain something to you real quick. She's improving, right? They already give the respiratory therapist and the nurses already given her the okay to take the machines on the oxygen off when she's eating, because she didn't need it. while she was eating. She was maintaining good levels. One doctor came in and just like started, well, not screaming, but yelling. It's like, she's got to be on the mask. She's got to be on the oxygen at all times. And I, trying to tell the doctor, I said, ma'am, the respiratory therapist and the nurses that work with her 24/7 told her to take it off on while she's eating. Because when the doctor came in, she was eating. He said once she's done eating, then she can put it back on. And she said, no, she needs to stay on the mask at all times. No, she needs to be on the oxygen at all times. So normally, I'm not a mean person, and I do my best to respect people like doctors and stuff like that, because they're the ones that went to school for it. Not me. I don't have any degrees in doctors, but I'm going off the people that work with her 24/7 out of the day. There's nurses, there's staff, there's the therapists that in and out of her room every hour, on the hour, you name it. That facility was on it. They had people with her all through the day. And I'm going to go by what they say, because they're the ones that see her every day. So I told the doctor, like, listen, this is not happening. She's not putting that mask back on. Doctor throws her hands up and she walks out. Like, what kind of doctor does that, man? Now, if I could be honest with you, did I think she had a demon? Yeah, I definitely think there was some demonic spirit in her. Do I think she was a demon? Nah. But I truly believe that she has some something demonic in her, and I was just not playing that game with her. So she leaves the room, and that's the last time I see her. Every other day after that was a better doctor that came in, that would come in and say, oh, your lungs are good. Just remember to take your treatment and your medicine, and you'll be out of here soon. They were uplifting her. They were giving her encouragement. That doctor was just like, no, you got to stay on the mask. No, you got to keep the mask on. And listen, as a head of the household, I had to step in and say, hey, no, we're not doing it. Sometimes you gotta tell people that's in authority, that are in authority, like a doctor. No, I'm not doing it. Especially if we know that it's gonna do more harm than good. So I told the doctor that, and I told the respiratory therapist and the case managers like how that doctor treated us, and we never saw that doctor ever again. So the respiratory therapist said that that the doctor never talks to us. They come in and they read a report from the day prior, right? Had she talked to the nurse or the respiratory therapist that was there with her throughout the whole time, they would have told her, yeah, we gave her permission to take that stuff off because she was improving that much. But the doctor didn't do that. So I told her, no, not happening. We're not putting that mask back on her. So anyways, she's been improving ever since then. Friday she got the message that she may be going home today, which is Monday. They only kept her the weekend for two reasons. One, the doctors don't work on the weekends. But two, they wanted to monitor her without any oxygen equipment to see how she hold up. Because if something would have happened where she relapsed, she's already in the facility. They just put the mask back on her. None of that happened. So we are home. Let me explain something to you guys, man. I've witnessed this last 3 weeks miracles. You know, there's something that it's not hard to explain to those who are willing to listen. But what I've witnessed, that the gifts of the Spirit are still active today. Right? When we got to this facility in Tampa, the section of the facility, the hall that she was in, all the rooms were filled except for maybe 2. Every day, we've seen people getting discharged there. At least I have. Because my wife is still locked up in a room and dealing with her medical issues. But day by day, I saw people walking out of there. I've talked to some of the nurses in there too, and she said that facility, a lot of the times, is the person's last their last days. Some people have died there. Some people were on ventilators, but they were functional. They would watch TV. They were eating with the ventilator because it was in the neck. So I've seen people almost at the point of death walk out of there. So when people ask me, can you prove the spirit of the gifts still active? Can you see people being raised from the dead? I say, yeah, I've seen it. And then when you try to explain it to them, sometimes because it's in a hospital setting, it's like, oh no, it's the doctors, it's the medications that helped out. They downplay it all the time. So for those people, just miss me with that, man. I know what I seen. My wife is almost at the brink of death. 100% oxygen, bro. And now coming home to not needing it. Yes, there was doctors involved and stuff like that. But the one who did the miracle, who kept her alive, is Jesus Christ. He's the one that did it. He put people in her path to get her to where she needs to be. He helped those doctors find the pneumonia. He helped that physical therapist, that respiratory therapist, get her to work her lungs. He put people in her path to get her back home. I could have been sitting here telling you the worst has happened. You know, my wife is not here. But that didn't happen. And I'm grateful for it. 3 weeks ago, I wasn't smiling, man. Can you imagine not only losing family member, but then losing your spouse, like days apart? It's horrible, bro. It's horrible. But I'm thankful for each and every one of you. Thankful for Seiko Woods, Dan Brown, David A., Mahler. All of your prayers, man, got me through this dark time. It's no longer dark. I'm at the end of the tunnel in the light. So I thank all of you and everybody that's been praying for me on the Discord too. I got nothing but love for you guys, man. Nothing but love. So this is my testimony for this whole ordeal. It was a wild ride. And I'm happy that this part of the ordeal is over with. And I look forward to getting her back up and running, because she's been in the hospital bed for so long that it's taken her a little bit of time to get around. Yeah, so as far as the gift of the spirits, the gift of the spirits, the gift of the spirits, yeah. The gift of the spirit is still active, right? I've seen people on their deathbed walk out. I live with one of them. I've seen miracles happen. I live with one of them. Right? I've seen healing. I live with one of them. I've seen things in there. I've also seen demonic forces, which is one of them was that doctor. And let me tell you something else too. So while I was over there in that facility, I did a little bit of evangelizing myself. And a lot of those people in that facility are from New York. Just like me and my wife. They were from the Bronx, Long Island, Staten Island too. And in that facility, I felt that there was angels there. And those angels were the nurses and the respiratory therapists. I really felt that some of them had the presence of angels or God's spirit with them when they were dealing with her. They all treated her with love, kindness, except for the doctor. That one doctor, I don't know what was wrong with that doctor, but it truly felt demonic, in my opinion. But everybody else was love, respect, peaceful. Some of them would come in there and have conversations about the Bible, even if our theologies were a little off. But the fact that I was having a conversation with workers in there that went to church and believed in the Bible, and it was amazing. It was amazing, man. So, yes, there were angels there. I've seen them doing their work. Yes, there was also demonic forces there. And I had to fight those demonic forces. So, you know, for those of you that know me as a charismatic, you ain't seen nothing yet. You think I was charismatic 3 weeks ago. I'm going to be even more charismatic now, being the things that I've seen these last 3 weeks, man. So, I just want to say, once again, Mahler, David A., who I've been texting almost daily now, and even had a phone conversation with him. Because anybody that knows about situations like I've gone through with my wife, it's David A. Because he had something similar happen with him and his family. Dan Brown, Seika Woods, all of your prayers, man. You know, we don't, Dan Brown and Seika Woods, we don't agree 100% on theology, but I'm grateful for the prayers because your prayers were heard. And it's because of all four of you guys that I'm here telling you my wife is home. And that means the most to me. So yeah, that's it. This is the testimony of my 3 weeks of pain that turned into happiness. All right? So God bless all of you. I look forward to Wednesday night on Marla's channel. Hopefully I'll be able to catch it because now I go back to work on Wednesday now. If not, I'll watch the replay. David A., I'll reach out to you, my brother. Forever grateful to you. You know, I text you almost daily, so just checking in with you. So I'll speak to you soon. If not, I'll see you on Marla's channel. All right, and I got nothing but love for you. Dan Brown, same thing. I'll see you on your channel, or I'll hit you up. I'll text you. Seika Woods, I'll see you on your channel. Love you guys. God bless you. Thank you for everything. And for the haters that's gonna respond to this, God bless you.